What up, mongrels, and welcome to the world's most messy shed. Here today to show you a bit of kit that I'm hoping is going to be a blinding bit of kit for me. I have been sent, I'm going to butcher the name of it, the Hcalory 5 kilowatt external diesel heater. Basically, you can use this if you're hot tenting, put it outside your tent, outside your camper van, or as I'm doing today, outside my shed. Because with all these stupid broken motorbikes I've got sitting in here, it's getting colder. I need a bit of warmth. Weighs in at about 1.8 kilo, 5 litre fuel capacity. It will burn through fuel at, I believe, 0.12 to 0.45 litres an hour. So even if you've got it cranked up max, you've got over 10 hours heating for 5 litres of diesel. Not too bad at all. Obviously, I don't do unboxings or anything like that. You get the main body. You can see the feet that I've already put on. You also get plug, exhaust pipe, whirligig, air filter to go on the thing itself, and a hose to come in and heat it, as well as a load of other stuff that you can charge it with. It runs off of 12 volt, 240 volt, the lot. So you can, have a solar panel rigged up on your car, charging a battery, run it off the battery. You can use it with your battery that is already in your camper van or whatever, or a power bank, which is what I'm going to be using today. Going to be using the Bluetti big bugger, because that's the only one I've got to hand. It's got a remote control. You can set the temperature so it will start and stop all the way through the night, keeping the temperature a nice steady temperature. It did say that the remote control had a big long lead. That to me don't look like a big long lead. Now you will be able to thread it through and into your tent, yes, but I thought you could take that off, mount it, and actually have this quite a way away. I'm guessing I could mount the unit itself inside my shed and run the exhaust pipe out. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to whack it outside. Bluetooth enabled as well, so you can use an app if you're that way inclined, and it has got a key fob remote, so you can turn it on, turn it off, etc, etc. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a temperature reading in here, which is currently sitting at 15.4 with my hip flask on the floor, my highly scientific proper probe temperature reading. Don't know if you can see that or not, but it does say 15.4. Going to crank this up for 5 or 10 minutes, then I'm going to take another reading, let you know how quiet it is, let you know how hot it gets in my 2x2x2 shed. Should get pretty hot, because 15.4 ain't exactly cold, is it? But nice lightweight. I like the look of the thing. Feet sit down nice. You can secure it outside. If you've got a workshop, you're laughing. Why spend money on all these heaters when you can just plug one of them in and you're away? Diesel heaters for the win. I do have one in my camper van, not this make, it's just generic, and it is a godsend. One thing I will say, I can't speak for longevity of this. I have had to change the fuel pumps on the one in there a few times. Obviously I can't say for this, but it's easy enough to work on. You haven't got to start unbolting stuff from your camper van. You just take the cover off and you're in and away. Anyway, let's put a bit of diesel in her, rig her up, and then I should really show you the rigging as well. Underneath, as you can see, you've just got an inlet and an outlet, which those things fit onto. Not going to lie to you, it is a little bit fiddly. But I've got big sausage fingers that don't work the best. But yeah, they run through the sides there, so it is what it is. And you simply attach your hose to the front. Power goes in the power at the back. Prime it, turn her on, and enjoy the heat. Enjoy the heat. I'm hoping this works a treat. If it does, I'm going to get hold of a massive great big tent, do a bit of winter camping with the wife without the need for a log burner, because they're a pain in the bum. This ain't going to be much better. You're going to have a lot to carry around with you, but it'll be a more quiet, less labour intensive to keep it running way of heating stuff. The Hcalory, Hcalory, yeah, 5 kilowatt diesel heater. Let's get to this. Right, so I'm just about to start rigging it up. Not sure what you can and can't see. You've got arrows, so that's obviously the exhaust. That's got an arrow, which is obviously going inwards. So the exhaust would slide on there like so. Do up the clamp. I'm not going to bother just for now. So you've got an elbow joint for the inlet. I believe I've not read the instructions. I'm just guessing. I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn it that way, so it's the opposite side to the exhaust. Again, it does come with a load of Jubilee clips and stuff like that. And basically, that's rigged up, ready to go. I'm now going to flip it over, fill it full of fuel, and prime it. So as you can see there, I've got the exhaust running in the opposite direction of the intake. Filling it up is a simple, take your cap off. As you can see there, you've got a little filter. I might need 2 hands for this because I'm going to spill it everywhere. Come on. And you pour some diesel in. I'm going to put the camera down so I don't spill it. I'm only going to put a litre or 2 in there just to get it going. So I've just put some fuel in. As you can see, it does have a fuel gauge, analog, very analog. It just shows you how much fuel is in there by how much fuel is in there on the side, which is a good thing, so you can keep it going knowing that you're not going to run out. Also, I've noticed that there was a spare lead that gave me loads and loads of lead. Not loads and loads, I'm going to say 2 and a bit metre for this, so I can mount it inside if need be, which is what I'm going to do right now without you looking. So you simply run the plug up through there. I've popped it through that hole in my shed. I'm going to put the power bank on the inside so I can control everything from the inside. Let's get this bad boy primed and see how hard or easy it is. Right, so I've fiddled about with the controls and stuff like that. I can't see any way actually on there to prime it. So what I'm going to do is start it up without priming it. If it blows up, I might have to look at the manual. I'm not going to look at the manual. So let's have a look. Let us just turn it on. Now that is starting. Move it over there, you might be able to see it. Now hopefully you'll be able to hear a clicking soon, which means the pump is pumping. So as you may or may not be able to hear now, there's some clicking going on outside, which is the diesel pump sucking the diesel heater through, and on here you can actually see it's blowing out warm air, or so it says. Still cold air coming out at the moment. We'll give that a couple of minutes and then see what happens. So as you can hear, that is actually now working. The ticking's got a lot quicker. It's pumping out furiously because obviously I've got the fan right up. Let's just make sure I have. It would appear that I have, although that's not changing. Anyway, I can boom, I'll pump that up to max. It's not very responsive, got to say. I can feel that working on my legs. That is really, really warm. Obviously you can hear it working. Trying to turn that down, it don't really want to be turned down. Oh, there you go. I don't know. Anyway, that is kicking out some real heat. I'm going to leave that for 5 minutes. Then I'm going to come back in here and see what the temperature differential is. Definitely feels like it's working. I'll take you outside, see if you can hear that pump, because that's the sort of noise you're going to be hearing over and over again when you're sitting in your camper van, tent, whatever. To be fair, I can't really hear much of it in here. Good. So this is the noise it's chucking off outside on full pelt. Oh yep, that exhaust is up. So the exhaust is working. Obviously something's firing because it's coming in hot there. There's my intake, so it's away from the exhaust, not sucking in any carbon monoxide. And there is a thing on there, I believe it's got a carbon monoxide alarm on it, which is very, very good. So I'm just going to leave that running for 10 minutes, go back inside and see how hot my little shed has become. Cuckoo, cuckoo, all run off a power bank. Right, so it could be me being a biff. It's not me being a biff. I've just done a couple of things on this, like trying to set the clock. Followed the instructions. It got to the bit where I could set the time, but the up and down buttons don't seem to work on the controller itself. So what I'm going to now try is with the remote, turning it on, just seeing if I can operate it with the remote. Because if I can't adjust stuff with the controller that is with it, at least I can use that. One thing I will say, although you might be able to see, that isn't really sealed that well. So here's the remote. I'll press on. Anything happen? Press and hold on. Oh, it fired up. So now that's starting to work. Let's see if those buttons do anything. Down goes down, up goes up. So the remote works, this doesn't. Unless, let's have a look. I'll hold that to get to the clock. Down, up, oh, no, nothing happened there either. You see, this now is meant to be changing the time when I'm pressing these buttons. As you can see, that time is flashing, but it didn't. So I'm just going to let that run, crank the power right up, and see what happens. At least the remote works. That's good to know. It might be that that is set ready for the remote. So I'll have a play later and I'll let you know. But, right, off I go. Not very intuitive. And as I say, the actual instructions on here, I followed a couple of them and they don't seem to work how they say they work. I'm going to shut the door. It's on full power. I'm going to leave it 10 minutes, come back, see how she's operating. Right, so it's been running a while now, only about 5-10 minutes. It's only a small area to heat. I can see the discoloration and everything. Can't hear any clicking. Get in my shed. Still blowing hot. And it is properly warm and toasty in here, gotta say. Right, let's crank you up. Right. So currently, let's have a little look. That is reading, what's that reading? 27.5 after about 5 or 10 minutes, which is 10 degrees warmer, which is good. What I might do is load up the app onto my phone, because hopefully the app will allow me to adjust the time and stuff like that. But the actual remote on the screen itself definitely doesn't work. Handheld remote does. It does work, just the up and down buttons don't seem to work. But I'll have a play and report back if there's anything to report back. The app itself, you can do all the settings you need to do. I hope that you can set the time, but I don't like having apps on my phone. I'll keep you posted on that as well. Right, so I've added the app. The app is really simple to use. You can control the temperature, you can turn it on and off. You can add timer settings to get it to turn on as and when you like, but you can't change the clock. So you'd have to just do a little bit of math there if you're like me and got one that won't let you adjust the clock. I can get into it, it just won't let me adjust it. I just think that the up and down arrows on the unit itself are knackered. But that is running absolutely great guns. Still sitting over 27 degrees. Everyone's a winner. Bit loud, but I'd rather have loud and warm than quiet and cold. What I can do is, oh, hang on, get off of that. Change mode, temperature. Don't know what that means. Ah, right, yeah, that just gives you the power up, power down. So I'll crank that up to 10 and you should hear it kicking even more. It's a shame that it don't allow you to change the time. But it does have instructional videos. That's quite handy. Let's have a look at some of them. There's only 4 on there and none of them are for the one I've got. Now, another thing I did notice is outside, I haven't rigged it up so it's properly rigged. The metal thing is for the exhaust, and then that gets clamped to the body, and the hose that comes up for the intake also gets clamped to the body. It is currently drawing, let's have a look, 63 watts on the highest of high settings. So work that out, whatever power bank or leisure battery or whatever you're using. Good bit of kit. Is a good bit of kit. A little bit annoyed by not being able to control it up and down. Like, app's good.